Starting. Okay, we are live.
We had 11 people in the room.
Oh, goodness.
At a kindergarten IEP. It was fun. And that wasn't counting me or my husband.
Here comes Miss Julia. Now I saw you going up down the hill.
It was on our list just to go down.
I was going down.
I had to run home and get my laptop.
That's weird. Why is it doing that? Okay, I think we can call the meeting to order. Let's see, does anybody need an agenda? Okay. So maybe we should start with Jackie because you need to get back to the nurse's office.
That would be great. Yes, I'm always busy at this time of day. So I just wanted to propose that PTA might possibly be interested in taking over the yearbook for next year. And the reason I'm doing that is because it was brought to my attention that we are the only school in the district that has a staff member who puts together the yearbook annually. All the other schools, the PTA do it, and they do it as a fundraiser. And they make a significant amount of money off of it every year. And it's not rocket science to do it. It's really not hard. It's just one of those projects that's kind of time consuming. And if you have parents or members on the board who have some extra time to put into it, it really comes together quite handily. It's something you can do from the home. You don't necessarily have to be here at the school to do it. It's all done electronically nowadays. And the way I've been doing it the last 2 years is, I just put it together. I charge the bare minimum over what it costs to actually produce the book. So I haven't made a lot of money, but it can potentially be a moneymaker. Our yearbooks cost $15 is what I've been charging. And this year, because I've ordered more than I did in previous years, I'm ordering 350 books this year. Production cost on the book is only $11.18 per book. So we're making a few bucks a book. And so I'm making like around $1,200 profit this year with just me doing it. Now, if the PTA did it, and if you guys decided you wanted to try to sell more than 350 books, we have 455 students in the school. If you wanted to even up it to 400, your production costs would drop to under $10 a book. And most schools are charging anywhere from 20 to 25 a book. So if you guys even charge 20 a book, or even 18, I mean, whatever you want your margin to be, you guys could make up to $3,000, $4,000 off of one project. And the amount of effort to have to put into it is really not that significant for the return on the money that you get. And I've done it the last 2 years, and I'm tired of doing it by myself, and I'd be happy to help out, but I just think it would be a good project for PTA to take on, because if you have some parents who are at home or whatever who say, I've got an hour to spare here and there to help combine it and create it, and it's quite profitable if you'd like it to be. So
Margins sound great.
yeah.
I'm not going to be here, so
Well,
I think PTA should totally do it.
I was actually really surprised because one of the
So the
gals
others
at-
are $20.25 at a.
I think Aspen's charging 20 or 25. I'm not sure.
How
But one of the
what
gals
was
at
production on
Aspen,
it? Sorry,
11.18.
11.18.
right now it's
Yes.
11.18 for 350 books. If you guys produce it the way I have been without the fancy, but I mean that's with an original cover. We use our own original artwork, which normally they charge us extra for, but I've negotiated a contract that actually will stay in place for the next 2 years, that we get our special cover for a discounted price. We get a lot of our other items on here for free. All of our sales materials are provided by the company for free. So all of the information that goes home with the kids, we can do online ordering, which is awesome. It saves us a lot of time, and we don't have to touch a lot of the money that way, but we just get the profit from it. So it's actually a really great project, I think, for PTA to take on. But I just wanted to propose that and see if you guys might be interested, and let you guys talk about it and just let me know what you decide. And if somebody, or if y'all as a group do decide that you wanted to take it on, I'd be happy to show you everything and hand over the contract and everything else and show you exactly how it works and set you up with the representative and everything for next year.
So I just have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
So at the beginning of the year, the kids like sign, or the parents sign the paper saying that their pictures are allowed to be published and stuff. So is there a problem with a parent putting it together? Like, would we have to change that form?
No, it
To
would
handle
not
the
be. I don't
pictures?
think it would be a problem because anybody who's affiliated with yearbooks, so anybody who's on the yearbook committee, and if that becomes under the PTA umbrella, then the parents would understand that, you know, anybody working on the yearbook is going to see this. And most parents who sign that form, like I went through, because we have a few parents who've signed that form this year, and I called those particular parents and said, is it okay to have your child's photo in the yearbook? And they've all said yes.
Okay.
I think they're mostly concerned about outside type publications like in the paper or on the internet and things like that. So,
Okay.
yeah, I don't think you would need to do any change in verbiage or anything to that particular form.
I
But
think
can call
it's
them.
great for parents to do it. I just wanted to make sure.
Any other questions?
What is the yearbook committee? Like, is it teachers or kids or are you just the yearbook committee? Okay.
Yeah, that's the last 2 years. Last year when I came on here, they said, oh, we need somebody to take over your book because the gal that was doing it previously was leaving. And I said, well, I'm happy to help. And then nobody else stepped up to help. So it just came to me. But then a gal from Aspen called me this year and she said, oh, I just wanted to let you know, we got some of your kids' pictures. There was a mix up and I'm sending them over to you. And she's like, by the way, why are you doing this? I'm like, what do you mean, why? She's like, you're the only school where a staff member puts together the yearbook, and we do it as a fundraiser. We make significant funds off of it. And so that's why I was like, oh, well, I had no idea. Let me go talk to our PTA and see what's going on.
Yeah, it's hard to know what other schools do
Yeah,
if you're not there.
so I just thought I'd propose it to you guys and
I
see
think
what
it's
your
really-
thoughts were.
Again, I'm not going to be here, so I shouldn't be talking.
But is that something we need to put in a budget line for next year?
Yeah,
Basically.
I'm going to work on next year's budget, and I think
So
that's
just if
something-
we can add that on and then in the first board meeting in August-ish, we would vote to have that on there, right? That's how we have to go move
Okay.
forward. I don't think we can make a motion right now, is that correct? Because it would
There's
be
nothing in
under,
motion.
there's no motion, there's nothing that we
Yeah.
can't like vote, we're not, I mean, there's no, it's just something for
If we
next
just
year.
put it in the budget for next year, then it will
Right.
be included when
Included.
we approve the budget.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that's the
It's
best way to
step
go
one.
about it.
Okay, no, that's perfect. I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure you
Now we
guys
just need to
knew
find
about
somebody to
it.
do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
We
So
can
let me
find,
know.
we'll twist people arms. Like maybe Tony. Parent staff.
Tony provides a lot of
Perfect.
photos, and that's the other thing, you know, it wouldn't necessarily be up to the people who are compiling the yearbook to have to do all the photos and everything else, because some people are under the impression, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to be at school all the time taking photos. Our teachers provide us with lots of photos from trips and things like that, and other parents send in photos and things as well. Our parents are very good about that, so it's not like you'll have a shortage of
Yeah.
photos or things like that.
well, there's like a portal where anyone can
Yes,
upload their
and there's
stuff.
the portal where you can upload and
Yeah.
all sorts of things, so it makes it very, very much easier.
So you don't have students helping right now? Because there used to be, I thought there used to be a student yearbook club or
There-
committee.
I'm sure there was
There was,
previously.
Sarah O'Brien used to do it, and then she was gone. She came back this year, she hasn't been ready to take it back on next yet, but she may be willing to next year. But it would still be nice to house it under PTA, and then they could work with Sarah and support it. You
Right.
see what I mean?
Right.
But she may be willing to take.
Well,
it
like
on
the
next.
kids can then do like the layout, like type of stuff, make it a kid
I would
own,
just make
school
kind of a yearbook
owned.
club.
But the actual paperwork and money funnel will go to the PTA. And then we can get more money to the school, basically.
Yeah, it would work out. It's a win-win.
Mhm. The margins are incredible. I mean, if you're able to make that much off of it, I think it's worth entertaining.
Thank
you.
Okay, thanks.
I'm out of here.
Okay.
Say hi to Fifi.
So you didn't bring copies of the minutes?
I have minutes right here. I just have one copy.
We can
My printer is dying.
hook them up
so-
to the.
Okay, so we'll go back to the agenda to approve the February minutes. We have
Would anyone like to look over them?
we have 2 copies.
Looked at them electronically, they're fine, in my
Okay.
opinion, Kate.
Well, I had one question when I looked over it, and so I was hoping other people would remember. There was a bit about this last time Sherry Trottier came to talk about the scholarship committee. And so I thought there were some people on the committee from the high school and then also Mountain people on the committee.
She said Susie Scott, she was
Yeah.
on the committee.
Right, Susie's on it. She's a parent. And then
The art teacher, Miss McElroy,
Miss
is
McIntyre.
also on it.
And then
They
so,
have to have one teacher at least in one year.
okay, and then there's someone from the high school.
Right, it's one of the teachers from high school. I can't
Okay.
remember.
Miss Oviska? I can't remember.
But then she mentioned also that there was 3 people that were high school staff that had a tie to Mountain that give input.
Right.
So are they on the committee or not? I
Or
wrote
they
that
just
wrong.
give-
They were the ones, I think those are the ones that review the applications.
Okay, so there's 3 on the committee and 3 that review applications.
I think they all review applications. So I
All
mean,
6.
I think so.
And we may need to update, make sure that committee's up to date and you've got somebody so that you're awarding. So you want one PTA, one current PTA person.
Right.
Um,
I've tried to get on that
half
committee.
community person and
I've been denied
teacher.
access.
Well, and let me know, because I can get some more details on how they're doing that.
Okay.
And what they're.
Yeah, I've asked to be on it multiple times
I
and
will
I've
find- I will
I've
get
not
some
had
for you.
success with that.
Okay.
Yes, the
So,
reality is you should be able to award the money.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the applications could technically come directly to you.
And they have in the
Sure.
past. They have in the past.
Right.
They came to us and then we gave them over. Yeah, and one time there was only 3 of us that were on the committee. that made decisions.
Just from an oversight
Yeah.
perspective, that's the only reason why. It's not from a, like, I don't care to judge who gets it as much as making sure that the rules are being followed. Okay. Great.
So I'll make that correction
okay,
and then post.
thanks. Okay, so with that correction, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I have a motion to approve the minutes.
You'll make a motion?
Make a motion.
Okay, second the motion? Sure. Okay, all
Well, I
in
can
favor?
get the order.
All in favor of approving the February minutes? Okay, any opposed? Okay. Okay, officer report, so treasurer?
So my little doodad is not there, the projector that I typically use, so I did not print anything off because I usually use the projector. This month, we're doing great. Still, we got the $200 from NMPTA for the park testing. And just a little interesting tidbit that we found out, the reason NMPTA was able to give all the people who participated $200 is they had $1 million grant from the Gates Foundation to support park testing. So we sold our souls a little bit, but we got $200. And then the other piece of it was Amazon Smile is actually doing a lot better. We got $71 this quarter from Amazon Smile as opposed to $40, which is what we had
Normally
in the
you're getting
past.
40.
Yeah, so we're up to 71 now, which is nice because we've made what we made annually. Last year we made $150. We were already at $146, and it's not even for the full year yet. Money that came in this month is $5,200 ish from skiing came in, but it's also going out as soon as we get the invoices. And the other piece of it is that we, as far as expenses were concerned, it was Mad Money and I'm trying to think what was the other thing. That's what happens when you don't have internet connection. My brain is housed on.
We have one, we're gonna have one general grant that we haven't.
So yeah, we have grants, but that's later on in today's thing. Oh, that's what it was. Lanel is paying for the buses for the 5th grade girls, so we get $376 back from them. So, and that's the update as it stands right now.
So we pay for the buses and then they're gonna reimburse us.
Yes, we're paying for the buses, and then Lanel will reimburse us for that part of the field trip. The budget is posted on the board outside the office if you actually want to go look at it.
So you
It's
update it each month or,
Yeah, I try to. I think I forgot last month, but yeah, for the most part I update it every month.
and you also, do you update it on the website?
I had been updating it on the website, and then whenever things got changed, I kind of lost track of it.
Oh,
So I can update it today though, once I figure it out, or I can send it to that guy and have him. upload it.
yeah. Either way.
Okay.
That guy, I can't remember his name.
Chinchi.
It's a dude. Was it?
Chinchi?
A parent is doing a website.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. I was gonna.
Well, that was gonna come up later, but.
Let's let Jane do it
Yeah,
first now.
she did that one.
Well, you don't get the newsletter, the weekly reminders? It was on there.
It was last night, we got it.
I'll have to check. I got them and I didn't get them and now.
Okay, well, I'll forward that to you.
When
But
I go, dun, 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 how much money?
it was,
She was waiting for the big
you have
announcement
the
here.
number?
It's more exciting.
279
I knew it.
which is pretty good.
for
For-
no effort.
Just,
Yeah.
I ran copies and put them in all the boxes. It took 40 minutes. We got $279.
Yeah, right. It is. So
Okay,
with that and we have $200 from NMPTA plus close to $300 from T. We're done. We only need to raise 5,000 more,
But we got 376 back from the buses.
but
from
that's
Atlanta.
going to fifth grade boys science.
Oh,
but we'll talk about that
Yeah, well-
later.
But that's later. We'll get there.
Okay, is that it for the treasurer's report?
That is.
Okay, my report is just with the other new business, so, membership report?
We have no
No.
new members.
Okay, because we did so well at the
We're
beginning of the
holding
year.
steady. Yeah, right.
Okay, so principals report?
So we are, I have submitted the purchase request to fund the climbing wall. So on the upper grade playground, the climbing wall will come out most likely today, but sometime this week. They were supposed to do it, remove it Friday, as a matter of fact. And it will be the climbing wall and the chain link thing. And the reason are, and if you walk out and look it up, if you're interested in looking today, you can see it's totally split from the top, and they've kind of glued it and nursed it around a couple of years. They warned me last summer, year before last, that those would have to come out. The chain climber thing, the rubber is split, and so it pinches, and it doesn't cover, and some of the little chain links are really rusted. And so both pieces they've nursed along as long as they can. They have to come out. So those will be coming out sometime, like I said, in the next week or two. They told me probably today. We will orange fence off the area. The kids will still be able to use the swings. But we have a plan to replace, and there's some pictures down by the PTA board. I was with the blind lady and didn't bring my computer. Do you have your email from last night? Your attachment. Your attachment I sent with the.
I hope I didn't delete it.
I was messed you up with my Greenwich meeting today.
There it is. See right there. I read it.
They've got it.
Well, I didn't send the parents
Oh,
the same.
Okay,
Oh, here's the.
Here's the attachments.
so that's what it will replace it.
So, yeah, we've got a picture of it. So yeah, that climber's what we submitted to
That's good.
replace it, and it comes right at $9,000, including installation
I got it.
and the safety
Yes.
sign that
Yes.
says what the name of the equipment is and the age. I am waiting to hear back from the district. So our hope is, and our ideal plan is that the district will pay for that piece, and they're definitely paying for removal, but they'll also pay for installation. And then what we hope to be able to do, or take the PTA we're looking at, like the balance board and the balancing things that can go with it. And then they'll ship them all. So the district will essentially be paying for installation. The playground equipment guy has agreed to kind of ship them all together, install them all at the same time, deliver them all together, even though we'd be paying for them out of two separate places. And so unfortunately, I haven't gotten an email back yet. I honestly have submitted this in October. I submitted it again in November. I submitted it again in February. I submitted it again this morning and said I have to have a firm answer. The man at the company's been super sweet, and he's still giving us 2014 prices. But today he was kind of saying until the end of this month. I mean, he wants us to move on it and make a decision.
These are from whom?
From the district office. And here's what happened there. We had an account set aside, and several people, we had the committee and started meeting, and I think they got feedback from Tony and Dr. Cherise Smith, our occupational therapist, and different people about what we need out there. At that time, the district was doing budgeting differently. And so we had a referendum account set aside for grounds improvement that had the money in the account so we could pay for this. So we continued working. Well, this year, after the fall fundraiser, when we had made the decision what we wanted, we got ready to submit and issue the purchase order. At that point, I could have done the purchase order for the building. We would have been done. But at that point in time, they decided to restructure the way they do the district money. They took back all of our referendum money. And so now there's an application process, and it goes to a committee who then determines, looking at the whole district, where the needs are and where this money should be spent.
Who's on this committee? School board or?
No, currently it's Joni Ehlers, Lisa Montoya, our chief financial officer. I believe that Catherine Bendecki-Boom, the Aspen principal, is on it, but I haven't been able to really get a firm answer on that. I've tried to figure out who's on that committee.
We're not going to egg their houses.
No, and I fully
I'm just like-
expect that we will get an answer.
That's a little long.
Yeah.
6 months. But
I upped the pressure a little this morning, and I went straight to Dr. Steinhetz. So I'm hoping we'll get an answer this week, because that really depends on what you guys can buy for us.
Right.
Because, for example, if the district comes back and says no, then it may be that we need you to buy the main piece, and we'll have to table the other 2 pieces for another year. If the district says yes, then hopefully we'll be able to do the whole area and just be done with it, and it'll all be done at the same time. So the other piece of thing that kind of falls under the same referendum request paperwork process, I have a lady here right now. As you know, we got new build blinds, windows in the main part of the school. And so she's writing us an estimate on blinds. And then she's also going to go room to room and do a separate estimate on replacing blinds that are broken in other parts of the school. And so that's something that we'll be requesting that they use referendum.
Like, we have money for playground. I mean, that's the thing that we've been raising for. That's so however we can make that happen. If you want us to show up someplace and bring them some other way, I'd be happy to.
Let's give them a chance to respond. And then if we need
Another
to
6
take a
months.
different direction.
but not 6 months.
No. We're gonna get we're kind of at the end of our limit.
Okay.
And so we're gonna give them a chance to respond, and then we'll go a different direction if we need to.
Okay.
And so, and really, you know, like I know you guys have them, and you could do the big piece like tomorrow.
Right.
But if we can have them do a piece, and really, in my mind, it's the district's responsibility to just replace what we're taking out. And then we can enhance it with the other pieces we were looking at.
And then the
It would make it nicer for the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the part I like that one.
Yeah, I do too. So hopefully by the end of the week we'll have a firm yes or no. And
We can
then
always
decide.
bombard with emails.
Yeah.
Let's hold off on that. Try and work with them.
It's like getting your appliance delivered from Sears, you know?
I did send a notice out, and part of that climbing wall was originally purchased by a parent or a family whose child was killed. And so I have reached out to them, still working on getting in touch with the original family. And my plan is just to let them know that we will preserve that plaque, and we will just rededicate the new equipment in her memory.
Okay, great.
And so we'll just put that all back in place, and we'll do that. Other than that, so park testing is much shorter this year. That's something you guys should know about. So we've cut back. There's no March window. Yay. So we're down to the last 2 weeks in April. There are only there's math and language arts only. They've decreased the number of tests. So we're doing much less testing. And we most cases won't be doing spring math on top of park anymore. So we're just going to be looking at that couple of weeks, which would be good. Is there anything else you guys have questions about?
Nope. Your grant request for the 5th grade. If
My
you want to
grant
do
request
it,
for
if you need to
5th grade.
leave.
I did put in a grant request. We had a 5th grade day in science, and unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of plan ahead of time because it kind of fell in our laps, and literally it was like a Friday evening, and they said, well, if you can get all the 5th grade girls registered, and it closes out this weekend. And so oddly, we did. Facebook's an amazing thing because we sent out a couple of notices, and we had every single 5th grade girl except for 2 register, and those they let us register late. So our fifth grade girls last Friday went to the
Santa Fe Convention
Expanding
Center.
your horizons.
Expanding your
Expanding Your
horizons.
Horizons
It's really cool.
Women in Science Day. They had a really good time. At the same time, right away, we had lots of feedback from parents that it was unfair to the boys. We said it's okay, we planned for them. And just coincidentally, Dr. Patrice Tirasi, I think that's how you say her last name, had come by, and she runs biodidactic research, which is doing specific hands-on STEM lessons for students. And so she came, and bless those fifth grade teachers' heart that just got stuck here. They had a great day. They did hands-on science from the moment they got here until they left, and they extracted their own DNA, and they ended up getting to put their DNA sample in a necklace, and they built DNA models, and they kept those kids busy all day. And so it was really fun. Unfortunately, it isn't something that we had pre-budgeted. And so we were okay because the Women in Science, the Leno Foundation came back and said they would do the bus. This lady that did our hands-on science had requested that the Leno Foundation pay for the boys' piece. Unfortunately, the Leno Foundation will only pay for one of the other, and they had already approved the girls the bus. So they won't pay for a second event from now. And so then we were kind of back to square one, but we already had the event planned. So we would like to do a small grant request. I attached the expenses. Whatever you guys can do to help us will be appreciated.
The expenses of her science
for the
experiment.
day.
Yeah. So yeah,
And she has not billed us that yet.
so the total for the grant request is 1,166, and I feel partially responsible for it because whenever I had the thing for the girls' science, it was supposed to be a free day. The whole thing was supposed to be, covered by Lano. It wasn't supposed to be a big deal. Clearly, I was wrong. So it's now 1,166. But the way you can look at it is it's for the entire fifth grade, not just the boys, because the girls got to go and do fun sciencey things too. So we have the $1,100 because of getting the $376 back from the bus. The only thing is we have a competing request, and her competing request is for $493 for a Rubik's Cube challenge. So what we could do is we could fund her request and then partial this one, which would be, you haven't used your Mad Money yet either though, right?
No.
What were you anticipating using your Mad Money this year?
No.
Okay, so there's a couple creative financing things we could do. Right, and what it could be is that Mrs. Guy has offered to donate her Mad Money as well in here. So it wouldn't be 1,166 from the grant request fund, it would be 1,166 minus 250. And then yours could be 493 minus 250 as well, which would bring us down from,
Oh, yeah, that's creative financing.
it's creative financing.
So the Mad Money doesn't have to be approved. You just subtract
Yeah.
that and subtract that. So
Let me, if I could use my calculator quickly.
And then it's pre-approved.
right,
Yeah.
it's budgeted, and then the grants are just, we have a budgeted for general grants. We just need to approve each one.
Yeah, so it would make the grant request 916 instead of
What's our
1166.
current amount left in our grant,
We
general grant?
because
Because it'd be a total of 916. The two.
so the total would be 916, and what we have left for educational grants would be about, we have $1,000 left in educational grants.
So that would just pretty much use it up.
But
It's March.
do we want to talk about the tutoring stuff yet?
Yeah, we can talk about the tutoring stuff.
I will let you talk about the tutoring stuff.
You guys have always been very, very generous in time to fund our tutoring. Again, with the change in the way the district's accounting for things and doing things, that got a little complicated this year because they no longer allowed us to pay classified staff an hourly rate, which is what we've always done out of the tutoring money is we paid an hourly rate. So I met with Lisa Montoya, our chief financial officer, last week or 2 weeks ago. And we have finally identified a way to get tutoring money into the account and pay it will be paid out of a set stipend. So rather than the teachers being, the staff being told, okay, well, you know, the PTA will reimburse at this tutoring amount, we're looking at a stipend. We ran into kind of a special situation this year because I have had people working all year that weren't necessarily being paid for working yet. It's been kind of this kind of, we're going to pay you. So we had access to two other accounts, Native American Tutoring Funding and another account that I've been paying the certified staff out of. And then we just cut back on the number of classified staff that we used. So for this year only, our tutoring expenses are going to be significantly less than they have been in the past. So I just would like to ask you to be cautious about jumping in. So essentially we're looking at about $1,200 or under $1,000, about right at $1,000. Is what we need from PTA to pay out the people that we still owe money for this year. And then I would like to just give you guys the rest that we don't, you know, let you reallocate the rest of the money in that tutoring account for this year. My only request is that we keep in mind that we really do rely on that tutoring program. We would really like to have that rebudgeted for the following year because we will need it next year. And now that we know actually an avenue to get it into district accounts and get it out to the teachers, we would really like to amp back up and use that. Keep that program in place. So what I'm saying is that although we're going to have less of a need this year, I anticipate the need to return to normal levels next year.
So so it's a one-time bonus windfall on PTA's part.
Yes.
So with that being said, that takes kind of like close to $6,000 that we weren't anticipating having because we had budgeted $7,000 for tutoring. Our numbers usually come in.
There's a playground right there.
No.
And your science
So
and your Rubik's Cube.
we agree. We agree. But so we were still going to consider having a spring fundraiser because we don't know what next year's fund run is going to look like. So
Because every year it's been getting lower and lower.
Yeah, and it's been decreasing by like $3,000 or $4,000 each year. So we're still going to go forward. We were still thinking about going forward with a spring fundraiser just to kind of have something to carry over for next year. And that's another reason why I've been asking for what the next capital improvement project is, so that we actually have a line item to carry it over on, and not just have a free-flowing bank account because you're not allowed to have that. So we have $6,000 more than we had anticipated. So we could totally cover the 5th grade science. We could totally cover Rubik's Cube. So, but that requires us to redo our budget or reallocate it.
And I will get you a bill or a copy of the stipend paperwork for the tutoring. I can give it to you by the end of the day today.
Right, and we'll have that paid off by the end of the month. We'll give you the money for it.
How do you write those? Do you write those checks to the district and then you guys pay them?
Yeah.
That's where it got complicated because that's always happened in the past. The teachers submitted an hourly rate, the district paid them. And then at the end of the year, we generated a bill, a total cost of tutoring, and that was given to PTA.
Right. The
district came back this year and said you can't pay anybody hourly. They wanted it for a stipend, but they also, the stipends they had set up the stipend account, but there was no way to get PTA money into that account.
Because we're not allowed to have
So we weren't
employees.
able to stipend that, but they are not able to pay people. So after many meetings and much debate, they did finally create a line item in the district office where our PTA money to go into, and those stipends for those teachers can come out of.
Right.
But there'll be a one-time stipend.
Yeah.
So that's where, and this is like brandy new information as of last week. So,
Yeah, it's been a long process of working through how
So-
to get that money back out.
So basically, we want to approve the 2 grant requests.
we can
So
we
we
How
can do
much
that.
was the Rubik's Cube?
493.
Okay, 493 minus 250 because she'll use MAD money.
Well, she didn't have to.
She doesn't have.
As long, so that's the thing is that the MAD money was if we weren't going to consider that $6,000 windfall that we're receiving now. Now that we have the ability to pay for it, she can still have her MAD money should she choose to use it. And same with Mrs. Guy, she can still have her MAD money as well.
But yes, so we have to
Real,
because I approve the general grants and then also approve the budget
We have to reallocate the budget and then.
and then approve it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have three things we need
Yeah.
to vote on. Okay.
So would you like to start by reallocating money from tutoring to the general grant fund?
That would be step one.
Okay, I will move that
Just
we
for this year.
reallocate.
Right, I'm gonna help
Do you
design
want,
the budget.
is that
for
what you want to do?
Yes.
How much do you want to reallocate?
The,
So leave us 1,200 just to be sure, so you allocate 6,000.
okay, so
We would
reallocating,
reallocate, for our budget, we would reallocate $6,000 from the tutoring line item to the general
let's make it
grants.
5,000 because I think that.
5,000.
Okay.
5,000 if you're watching at home. So,
They're
we'll
working on it.
reallocate, okay, wait, let me start this again. I move that we reallocate $5,000 from our tutoring line item to our general grants line item in our budget.
So does someone second the
I
motion?
second.
Okay, so all in favor? Okay, no one is opposed, I think.
Okay, great. So then now we can, the grant requests. So the first grant request is for $1,166 to fund the fifth grade voice science that happened last week.
I move to accept.
Make a motion.
Make a motion to
Are you
accept.
motioning that?
Yeah,
Your motion,
make-
okay,
because
I
I'm the one
second it.
announcing it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Okay,
Yes.
and then I'll second.
Okay.
Okay.
Someday we will learn these rules, Karen.
And if
You
it's
are allowed
move
to
or
make a
motion.
Well, it's not my thing. I am allowed to do it.
So all in favor
Of paying that,
for the grant?
okay,
Okay, any opposed? No, okay, so the motion is passed.
for that one. So that, all
For the
Science is
boys'
paid.
science.
right,
And you'd make the check on that to Dr.
the lady.
Yeah.
Priska.
Okay.
So let me add one more caveat. You may end up with that money back because they did appeal to the Little Foundation because they wanted them, they had been told that they'd be approved
Right.
because they're just trying to get these things started. They were the first school they had done one
Right.
at, and then it was denied. And so they were gonna resubmit the paperwork under their name.
Okay.
Anyway,
Wow.
but if it comes back, I told them that was great to make the check out to.
I can't spend money this year to save my life. Last year. Yeah, right. Yes, Lord. Okay, so Ms. Minition, would you like to talk about your
Sure, I'll
grant?
explain. I did a Rubik's Cube lesson unit with my GATE students, and we were able to borrow a kit from the You Can Solve the Rubik's Club from the visit that I did for the National Gifted Conference. We were able to borrow for free a kit of 36 Rubik's Cubes. So the students all learned how to solve the Rubik's Cube using the algorithm, and then we worked on creating mosaics with them. The students were really excited. Many of the other fifth graders who were not in GATE were really excited and wanted to learn too, and I did want to expand this. I also had some of my third grade gifted students also started learning how, and they wanted to do more, and so I wanted to expand this and become a club. So I'm trying to put together a grant to get, at this point, it would be 70, for 36 cubes per set of 36, but I'm doing 36 sets, so it would be 72 cubes, so that we could do some various size mosaics. And I would have two different groups, a group on Tuesday lunch for beginning, so that they would learn how to solve the cubes, and then an advanced group on Thursday lunch where we would actually do the mosaics. Hopefully by next year I could talk to some parents who could actually create the frame so that we could display them in the front of the school, so that we
Have you
could
talked to the Aspen Gate teachers?
I'm going to talk, because I know Susie has a club too,
Yes.
that she's done. So this is what I'm gonna try and do. So it would be for grades 4 through 6 for now. I missed the deadline for the LAPS Foundation. When I can do that one, since they have a larger amount, I'm gonna use this as the starter so I can show that it's working and try and get 600 cubes so that we can do really big mosaics, because once you get up to 400 and 600 cubes, you can do really big things like Einstein's face and the Statue of Liberty. There's also programs so that we can use Photoshop and take pictures of things and turn them into mosaics, so that we can have kids doing design. We can work on creating using the math lessons. so that they can do coordinate graphing with it. We can have different classrooms get involved. We can have students do what do you want to do for the design? What should our design be? So that we can incorporate all of the grades. And if I'm able to do the LAPS one, I'm going to open it up to 3rd grade and up. So it would be a full school club. This is not going to be just a gifted. This way we can completely open it up, which is what I really want. So that's the idea behind this, is to have a lunch club for students so that we can work on the Rubik's Cube, really work on all those STEAM.
3x3s?
These would be 3x3s. That would be the official Rubik's brand. These will be tiled, not stickers. So through the club, I can get them for $5.50 a piece with shipping of $23.97 per set of 36. So this way, with them being tiled, not stickered, they'll last longer. Yes, that's the main thing. I want them to last. So that's the idea behind the club.
And what was the total? 490?
I'm sorry, 443.94.
Yeah, and this will be for 72 cubes.
I made
And
this.
then
No, you're
if I'm able to do the larger set later on, I'd like to have this as a classroom kit, 2 classroom kits of 36 that could be checked out for classrooms interested in doing Rubik's Cube lessons. So that's the long-term goal.
I think it's cool.
So it worked really great for that.
And other schools are doing this.
Yeah, it works really great. It's a great STEAM because it incorporates so many different things. And the kids were really, really engaged.
And we just talked about cubing clubs at the district gate advisory council or committee. So yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
We're jumping ahead of the rest of it. I mean, except for Aspen, we're jumping ahead of the rest.
Yeah.
Well, they're already doing, she already
Yeah,
has
she's
a
been
cubing
doing it
club,
for a
yeah.
while.
Yeah. They've done their supercomputing challenge on Rubik's Cube. A couple kids did.
Yeah.
So, does anyone make a motion?
Okay, I move that we accept the grant request, as she just stated.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
I think it's great.
Any opposed? No. Okay, the motion is passed.
443. Do you? Or do you want a reimbursement?
Do a reimbursement so that I can clear everything probably to make absolutely sure.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so we're running out of time here. We got 10 minutes. Okay, we talked about yearbooks. So the spring fundraiser, we talked about the tea, raising some money. So I guess we have some questions. Do we still want to do the no sale fundraiser for the playground equipment and keep some money from tutoring in reserve for next year? Any opinions about that?
I mean,
To
middle
ask for
school-
donations.
Yeah, middle school sends home a letter, so we just kind of copy their letter and just see how much cash we can get back. It's not asking the kids to go on real freaking expensive.
How does that work at the middle? I mean, I know, does it seem like, that seems like that's.
Yeah, I
pretty
think that's
expensive,
how they.
right?
They
most-
raised
That's all
like
they do.
$15,000.
That's what I'm saying. I think it sounds like a really good idea, just, and,
In general?
yeah, and like I have a parent of a middle school, so, you know, I was happy to do, I mean, middle schools bring down maintenance, you know.
Yeah,
it's
right.
kind of their-
Okay.
Yeah, I think everybody gets.
We would have to,
Well, one donut per child, I'm just teasing.
we would have to have a plan that arrangement committee.
It'll make.
Okay, so do we feel like we should still ask for donations for the playground equipment or rely on the tutoring money? That is the question.
I think, I don't know, what do I know, but it seems like donations, people seem so generous. And I think if you have a child here, probably people would
I think there's no harm
ask
asking,
you.
Yeah.
and I think definitely we should say it's for the playground
Right.
Yeah,
equipment, and then if the tutoring, we just lie over to the next year
Yeah,
for
right.
tutoring.
So
Left
th-
over.
that's my
That's what I
opinion as well.
think. I think that's safe because then we can make sure we pay for tutoring because we don't know what's going to happen next year.
And I just think parents, if you say playground equipment, they're gonna go great.
And just
Yeah.
make sure, yeah, I think that's very important. And plus, it was in the newsletter that it's condemned and there's construction going on.
Yeah.
It's actually visible They're gonna come see their kids. It's like, oh, it's gone.
Right, right, right.
Better give them $50.
Yeah, well, so our amount that we were gonna ask for each family was $20. So that, it was, I think, reasonable amount for
For some.
some.
Suggested amount.
Be able to, but some people.
You
Yeah.
never know.
And some people will give us $100, like
Yeah.
somebody just gave us $100 today. So you never know. But so
So, people okay with that?
we were thinking of doing it around the family literacy night as well, right?
So,
Can I ask, is it just, can we just ask for donations as opposed to asking each family for money? Because I think that, is that what you're saying? You would send home a letter asking each family to donate $20?
Yeah, it's just like the recommended amount that they.
a suggested
I
amount.
feel a little, for me, I just feel, I mean, it would be fine for me.
Right.
But I feel like for the families that, do you know what I mean? It's
The
almost
families
like,
that are, yeah,
and it's almost like you have this shame, right? Because you can't send in the money. And so I just wonder about, if we ask for donations and just see what we get.
For
as
the
opposed to
playground.
sending. Because I think, you know, public school, right?
Right.
Yeah, and I would just kind of thinking along those lines also, if you could kind of phrase it in a way that if you didn't get the opportunity to, or you didn't take the opportunity to donate during the fund run,
Right.
you know, our PayPal account is still open, our donation page is still open,
Right.
and we really want to get to this level because they've condemned our playground equipment and they're taking it out.
Right.
And just give people an opportunity to donate again, or, you know,
Right.
if they didn't donate.
Because you were saying
before.
the kindergarten family didn't really understand what was going on.
Some of the kindergarten families were like, what, you know, but a lot of them, I mean, you know, they just completely ignored it, or, you know, and then their kids were running and they, you know, their friends had raised money and they got it. And I'm assuming, I mean, I don't know, it just might be nice to just remind people,
Right.
like, hey, fund run's over, but we still have to raise this money for playgrounds.
Oh, are
Our
you-
donation page is still open.
Right.
so yeah, on the letter, we should make sure they use a PayPal account for people who use credit cards.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
it's on that, right?
It
It's
should be.
still open, right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
still-
yeah, it's still up.
It's not like the greater giving thing which timed out or whatever.
No, PayPal's
Yeah, I
forever.
mean, it's forever. It's still there. You can still give, and that way, it may feel like an extension of the fund run,
Right.
not
Mhm.
like, hey, brand new, we're asking you for more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay,
Cool.
okay.
Just the way
I can
you
do
word things.
I will
Less
send it to
low
you so you can
pressure.
help me.
Sure.
Because I already did it.
Right.
Yeah,
But
she did it a couple of last.
And I have another question along those lines.
Yeah.
A few years back, we would approach the banks, some of banks,
I have a reason to.
and the medical center and some other people to ask for donations specifically for, during fund run, specifically for specific projects. And did we do that this year?
We've gone to the bank and she can discuss
No,
that.
we haven't gone to the bank yet
You talked
because
to them.
nope, haven't done. I started an email to the bank. How about that? Because what happened was that we were last year whenever we approached the bank for money, they wanted the money targeted towards children in need. And so they had a very specific guideline as to what it is that they wanted to spend money on. Well, we didn't meet those guidelines last year for one reason or another. But this year, I think we can, because I guess Mrs. Guy was saying that they spend about $20 a week on lunches. They give them free lunch for some of the kids who aren't on federally approved programs, nor she was.
They should be on federally approved program.
But so the message I got was that there's about $20 a week that goes out to give kids lunch who can't afford it. Is that
I'm not aware of that.
like kids who forget it and no? Okay, so she clearly knows something different than we do. And
Yeah, the whole lunch policy changes like per month.
oh, does it? Okay. So maybe I'm working with old information. That is quite possible as well. But so
But the school's paying, apparently the school has been paying for a couple kids' lunches,
yeah,
either for various reasons they're not, they didn't apply federally or they forget or something.
Yeah, right.
So there's some cash leaving the school to pay for kids' lunch.
and we were going to try to claw that back with a grant from Lionel. But we haven't gone to the medical center. But I'm more than happy to go.
I don't
Bake the
remember.
money.
There were others. There were other businesses in town
And they would fund like a certain thing as part of the
Yeah.
fund, like they'll pay for.
Right, and some of them, yeah, I can't remember all of who they were, but mostly it was banks and the medical center was one.
I'm happy to go.
And I don't know, because a lot of
It's
them
like
have
trick or treat.
changed, especially like the medical center has changed its structure, and so I don't know.
So
They would donate stuff in the past a lot more freely than,
they do now, right?
yeah, a lot of places.
Thank you. It's like,
Okay.
Ms. Clayton?
So we're planning to send out the logo contest next
Yeah,
week
I
or
can do
this week.
whenever you want.
So we're going to do a logo contest for the kids for new t-shirts and everything for next year. So not just for the fun run, but it would be used for the fun run too, but for the
For everyday
school.
wear and for school.
Yeah. So we
But
were
not the
gonna.
school store, she just,
Is that like the school store, like you sell them or it's different?
kind
We're thinking
So
to
we're
get
trying to
rid
do
of a
it online.
physical
Yeah.
school store and just you order online because it's a lot of work to
The
it's-
inventory is a pain in the butt.
yeah
and
to
getting
spend
the
the
right
money
sizes and the right.
and have the right
Right.
sizes. So we're thinking to use a company that other Los Alamos groups use,
My
mylocker.net.
And then the teachers then can get maybe a fleece with the same
They
logo.
can get what they want.
And the kids can get a hoodie or a shirt. Cause
Great.
it's gonna be the logo and they just put it on
Whatever they want.
whatever they want.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Are you talking about having a logo contest for the school logo?
Yeah. For next year.
For the clothing.
For the clothing.
Yeah. So just like we did one last year, but that was just for the fun run.
Right.
Yeah.
So this would be like a new mountain lion paw print kind of designed by the kids, like that yearbook had a
Yeah.
couple cute ones on there just
And it
right
would
there.
say 2016, 2017.
And it'd be like
Yeah.
a t-shirt and you can have it on like a polo.
Right.
Because, secretaries wanted some polos. And so they can just throw them on.
Right.
And we can
Yeah.
get, and then we can get those teachers.
Right. And then there's no
Outfitted.
inventory.
Yeah,
Which
because
is
a lot
so
of the
exciting.
teachers, the new teachers don't have stuff. The old teachers, their stuff is worn out or lost or, so we just want everybody. to
Okay.
get-
So do you have an issue?
No,
Okay.
I mean, I can see both sides there. The whole branding side of having a logo that belongs to the school, it's the logo that's on the sign outside.
Right.
It's in the gym.
Uh-huh.
It's consistent
Yeah.
year after year after year.
Yeah.
Which is good branding and good consistency.
Uh-huh.
But if you change the logo every year, then people gotta buy shirts every year. So it could up profits.
Sorry. Who are you going to get to be a money grubber?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah. Who is as motivated by cash?
So
So how does the contest, is like the kids vote or?
Yeah, so it's
No.
kindergarten through fifth grade, and then we have like a committee that votes on it.
Last year, Tony helped pick those. So.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Lori McEnroe.
Lori McEnroy, the art teacher, and this guy, and then any of the officers who didn't have kids submit.
Which would be me.
Yeah, I didn't vote.
My kids draw.
So what I'll do then is I will get the stuff printed out and copied 463 copies, and we'll put them in the mailboxes for next week.
Are there gonna be any kind of requirements? I mean, like for a t-shirt logo, it's gotta be one color and.
It's black and white. Remember last year's how it was
Just like last year.
Yeah, it was black and white on a 8x11, and then it just has to be black and white. We're asking them not to fold the paper, which we'll see whether or not that happens. But that's the only requirement at this point in time. If you think that there should be more requirements to it, let me know. I'd be happy to
Well,
include
just
it.
like you said, it has to be black and white.
Yeah.
And you said 8x10, but if they're gonna do a polo shirt, an 8x10 this big's gonna. look
No,
pretty
they'll be able to scale it.
It's
Yeah.
just that
Right.
rectangle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the theme that we have is We Are Lions. That was the random theme that my children came up with.
Oh,
So,
because they hear it all the time.
I love saying the Pledge of Allegiance with Girl Scouts because as soon as they're done, they continue with, we are Hawaiian! We are here to learn! No, that's not the Pledge of Allegiance.
yeah, so that's where we're at.
So, okay.
And my Girl Scouts from Aspen are like,
Why did we do this?
So I just want to mention, we have the kindergarten roundup coming up, spring book fair, and family reading night. And the officers, some of us talked a little bit about, we're not going to try an evening meeting in April because it hasn't worked well in the past.
No one shows up.
Yeah.
And are you on budget for family reading night? You doing that this year?
I am.
Excellent. So you got your extra scholastic books to get
I think we're
appropriated and.
set, and I'll check with, Jennifer. I think we're pretty good for the money for, the dinner part.
Uh-huh.
I know I've already done the grant for books, so we're set on books.
Okay,
So
excellent.
the one last thing is, are we still looking for a treasurer?
I got a secretary.
Or do we have a
Oh, I thought you were gonna be
secretary?
treasurer.
Oh, no.
I was like, totally, I thought you were.
Rainy, R-A-N.
So we still need one more candidate to be treasurer for
Yeah, and
next
Karen,
year.
you're helping Jane with the carnival, because I won't do president. if you
No,
don't.
no, I already talked to her. She is not on the
Yeah.
committee. She's not the chair, okay?
Not chair, not chair. Oh,
we'll see what I can do. I can pull together
Just
some
second.
stuff, but I will be busy.
Okay,
October is really busy for
make sure
marching bands,
everything's
and that
and we'll
is
go
where
Priorities.
that is where I am committed at this point in October.
Okay,
That's
so,
enough volunteer coordination in 1 month. Thanks.
I'll come back just for that.
and I got these in the mail for the UNMLA student program for this summer, if anyone's interested. So this meeting is adjourned.
Wrap it up. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, everybody.
I think I'm hoping to teach one of those.
All right.